What if the biggest lie you have ever been told was that somebody will save you one day? What if the mentor fails to arrive? What if the chance never comes? What if no one sees what you can do? It seems like most individuals waste several years in anticipation of inspiration, anticipation of confidence, anticipation of help, anticipation of the best moment. But in all this time of their lives going to waste, the truth remains unchanged. Nobody is going to come, neither your relatives, nor your friends, nor society, nor luck. And the moment you finally get that, everything changes. You quit waiting, you stop begging, you give up hope, and you become dangerous. In this video, we are going to destroy the greatest obstacle that prevents many individuals from becoming strong and outstanding. The notion that others will do wonders for your life. Because the day you decide to win, all your excuses lose sense. Niccolò Machiavelli knew something about life that most people will live their entire life running from. The world doesn't reward potential. The world rewards achievement. It doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care how hard things have been. It only cares about what you've created. History honors conquerors, inventors, creators, and strategists, not because they were the most comfortable, but because they refused to wait for someone else to say they could start living. An average person looks for comfort. A winner looks to control their own destiny. This is what sets winners apart from everyone else. Today, we're going to explore why no one will ever save you, why obsessions are an overlooked superpower, and how to cultivate the unforgiving mindset necessary for winning in a world that has no obligation to you. Because once you grasp this concept, your life will never be the same. You will either grow stronger or you'll stay right where you are. It all comes down to choice. A hard, cold truth. Nobody is coming. There is a deadly delusion that secretly dominates the lives of countless individuals. At first glance, this may not be clear. In truth, it usually pretends to be hope. The notion that someday, in some way, someone will come and alter everything. Someone may step into your life and show you how it's done. Maybe the right time will come and knock. The right opportunity will present itself to change everything. Maybe luck, or people, or conditions will eventually favor you. But people wait. They wait for the confidence to take action. They wait for the courage to decide. They wait for approval to pursue their goals. Years go by. Nothing happens. For in waiting for rescue, life waits for no one. Machiavelli knew what others did not want to believe. Life isn't made to save you, but to test you. It challenges your patience. It challenges your self-discipline. It challenges your determination to keep going without receiving any applause. The truth is, nobody wakes up each day thinking about your dreams. No one stays awake at night, worrying that your dreams have not been achieved. Your pain is felt by no one but yourself. It is not malice. It is reality, and the power of reality comes into play once you decide to stop fighting against it. Consider the number of individuals out there who have spent numerous years complaining about factors beyond their control. They blame the economy. They blame their upbringing. They blame their lack of contacts. They blame their bad luck. Underneath all these lies, an underlying belief. Someone else should solve this problem. Someone else should make everything easy. Someone else should have the solution. But history is made by those who took action amid the uncertainties of life. There are no empires without people who understand that delay is costly. No successful individual climbed up through unknown paths, prepared by some invisible force. They were created on their own by these individuals. Most people in the world exist only as spectators in their own lives. They observe other people prospering. They observe other people amassing fortunes. They observe other people acquiring influence. And somewhere within themselves, they ask why the life seems so inclined towards some people. What they fail to notice are the endless instances when those people stopped delaying and decided to do something about it. The ordinary man awaits better circumstances. The winner grows stronger under the existing circumstances. That is the difference. As Machiavelli rightly says, dependence is one of the most treacherous positions a person can be in. From the very moment he realizes that he completely relies on someone else's deeds, he becomes vulnerable to his opponent. Such an individual will find himself unable to save himself in the long run. His confidence deteriorates. Initiative becomes non-existent. He is without courage. Unknowingly, he constructs his prison through his own perceptions. He convinces himself that success can only come after approval from others, after gaining support from others, after receiving an opportunity from others. However, such has never been the way of power. Power lies in the hands of individuals that have the initiative to create opportunities out of nothingness. Reflect back to your experiences wherein development was at its peak. Was it amid comfort? Was it amid certainty? Or was it during that period wherein you were forced to depend entirely on yourself? This reflects one reality that takes individuals years before they acknowledge this. Individuals' true strength often comes forth when they lack external aid, when no one can show them the way, when no one can protect them, when no one can shoulder their load. Because this is when self-sufficiency is born. Excuses become irrelevant. Unknown talents and capabilities will be discovered. The world respects only strength. Intentionality will not make you powerful. Only the actions will. And the faster you grasp this point, the faster the nature of your relationship to reality will shift. You will stop wondering who can assist you. You will begin wondering what needs to be done. You will cease complaining about the injustice of it all. You will begin concentrating on the things that you can actually do something about. You will stop looking for some kind of savior. You will turn yourself into one. The harsh reality is that there's no one coming to change your life for the better. There's no special time in the near future. There's no magic bullet. There's no mysterious force at work behind the scenes. It's simply up to you now. Obsession triumphs over talent. One of the most comforting lies told to mankind is that success is reserved for the talented. It is comforting because it allows people to find justification. Someone successful, he was talented. Someone wealthy, she had good luck. Someone powerful, they were unique. This way, people never need to consider the alternative truth. What if success does not depend on being talented? What if obsession is the key factor here? Machiavelli knew that history would not be made by the most talented, but rather by the most obsessed. Talent gets appreciated. Obsession rewrites the future. Examine carefully all the people that made an impact in their industry. Very often, they did not seem to be exceptional at the start. They were often underestimated. Sometimes they suffered setbacks over and over again. Often, they did not have enough funds, connections, or opportunities. However, they had one thing more lethal than talent. They became so preoccupied with their goal, whereas others only worked when motivated. They worked no matter what. Whereas others sought equilibrium, they sought improvement. Whereas others lost concentration, they gained focus. While the common person approaches his goal through hobbies, the obsessed approach their goals through survival. And there lies a tremendous difference between the two. A highly talented person that works occasionally would most often fail against someone who is less talented but never stops. Because, while talent might give you an edge at the starting point of your race, obsession decides whether you finish it or not. That is why so many talents disappear, because they know too well that their innate skills guarantee their success. They get comfortable, they get arrogant, and they depend on their talent more than their work. On the other hand, the obsessed one keeps pushing himself forward. Every day, every week, every year. At first glance, their progress seems slow. They remain unnoticed. They are never celebrated. Nobody expects too much from them. But obsession has its own strength. It multiplies. Each passing hour builds momentum. Each failed attempt adds knowledge. Each misstep adds experience. And slowly but surely, the gap will become hard to overlook. Machiavelli would have recognized the phenomenon right away. Power does not lie in the possession of greatest talents. Power lies in the greatest dedication to goals, because dedication breeds consistency. Consistency breeds competence. Competence breeds influence. Influence breeds power. The problem is that obsession has always been misconceived. The word brings up the idea of unhealthy obsession, of fanaticism, of madness. But every major accomplishment in human history started out as an obsession. Not even the slightest effort can bring an empire into existence, nor can a minor effort create a work of art, nor can a half-hearted approach lead to success. Major achievements require a degree of focus that average individuals tend to interpret as madness. An obsessed individual sees things in a different way. While other people entertain themselves with distractions, they analyze the opportunities. Whereas others dream, they move. They know that all hours carry equal weight. All days are important. All decisions matter. And because they know this, they become hard to beat. Consider two people setting out on the same course. One has great talent, but unreliable effort. The other has mediocre talent, but iron discipline. Initially, the talented one seems superior. Nothing is harder. Things get done quickly. People take notice faster. But as time passes, discipline starts showing itself. The disciplined person keeps going when the initial thrill disappears. Keeps going even when little is happening. Keeps going even without seeing tangible results. Keeps going when others give up. Many years later, the entire equation has flipped around. Because it's not about what happens during those periods of motivation. It's about what happens during those times of resistance. During those times when things get boring, or when there is no longer anything visible to show for it. That's when obsession differs from regular ambition. Ambition wants success. Obsession needs it. Ambition does its best work under favorable conditions. Obsession does its best work irrespective of conditions. Ambition bargains with pain. Obsession ignores it. And that's why the obsessed seem unstoppable. Not due to any extra confidence, not due to extra intelligence, but because they have eradicated the act of stopping. People tend to underestimate the effectiveness of constant repetition. They spend their whole life searching for shortcuts, for secrets, for hidden strategies. But the most effective strategy is usually the most straightforward one, making another appearance, and another, and another. Well, after everyone else grows disinterested, Machiavelli realized that truly amazing results can be achieved through regular and persistent efforts at the ordinary. For the man whose focus on improvement makes him obsessive about his goal will be armed with an advantage that mere talent cannot offer. This is because talent can be lost, luck can run out, opportunities can evaporate. Yet the mind geared to win at all costs learns to thrive in all conditions. This is a man who no longer relies on anything external to him. He creates external conditions. He no longer relies on anything temporary. He relies on principles. Discipline is what it takes for them. And when one gets to that stage, it's like they start following an entirely different set of rules. Their main objective is not to be inspired anymore. It's not comfortable anymore. It's not to be seen as successful anymore. What matters now is progress, whatever it takes. Progress, whatever it takes. Improvement, whatever it takes. Growth, whatever it takes. Why? Because the obsessed realize one thing that average individuals overlook for many years. Success rarely has anything to do with those having the upper hand from the very beginning. Success often depends on whether one gives up on achieving his objectives even after everybody else gives up. Power goes to the persistent. Most people have a misconception regarding power. Power is thought of as something that only the politician, king, billionaire, and other powerful individuals possess. This misconception stems from the belief that power is something earned through luck and passed down from family generations through inheritance of status and affluence. But Machiavelli had a different take on power. According to him, power does not lie in what one holds. Power lies in the fact that an individual can be determined enough to attain it. Even more so, power goes to individuals who keep going, while others are held back by doubt. There are many brilliant minds in the world that have never amounted to anything powerful. There are many talented souls that have yet to succeed. There are also many dreamers that will never amount to being anything more than just dreamers. Why? Because they are spending their entire life seeking certainty. They want assurances before they make any move. They want assurance before they take any step. They want confidence before they start. However, certainty is a privilege which history has never afforded. Every grand conquest, every great feat, every revolutionary process starts from uncertainty. What makes the difference is that while ordinary people overlook this secret, relentless people know it. Action clears confusion. Procrastination brings about fear. The more one hesitates, the more confused he or she becomes. An opportunity, which initially appears as an exciting one, soon looks frightening. A challenge, which initially appears as a conquerable one, soon appears as insurmountable. At last, they find themselves trapped in their own analysis. Hesitation is one of the worst enemies of power, not because prudence is never right, but because prudence taken too far kills momentum. A person who always puts off making decisions will gradually learn to be weak. Every put-off teaches the idea of delay. Every excuse strengthens the habit of procrastination. Every time a decision gets put off, the next put-off will become easier, and before you know it, many years will pass without any real success. But the driven person approaches life differently. He knows that his errors can be fixed. He knows that even failures do not mean the end. His losses can be made up for. Yet those opportunities that were missed due to indecisiveness may never come back. This is why he acts, not rashly, not thoughtlessly, but with decisiveness. As others argue at length, he acts. As others try to calculate all the possibilities, he moves ahead. Whereas others wait for perfect conditions, they take advantage of current conditions. And since they outpace their fears, they slowly build their power. People in the world usually confuse this with confidence. It is not confidence, it is commitment. Confidence is delicate. It wavers along with the feelings. But commitment sticks around even when confidence is gone. A driven person is not fearless every single day of their life. They experience fear like everybody else. They have their doubts too. They suffer from anxiety. What makes them different is the fact that they won't let these emotions dictate their actions. These emotions can counsel them, but they don't direct them. That's why ruthless people seem unstoppable. They know how to keep their actions independent from their emotions. While most people take action when they feel prepared, the relentless go on regardless of whether they feel prepared or not. While most people wait until the time becomes right, the relentless make it happen by taking action. Most people seek comfort before progress. The relentless find that discomfort comes hand in hand with progress. Machiavelli noted that fortune favors the daring people who dare to challenge it. Action is rewarded in life, not perfection, not preparation. Action. There was no expansion in any empire because anyone took action. There has never been growth in any business because anyone took action. Each transformation started off when anyone took action amidst doubt. Relentless people know that there have never been any successes made by a single moment. Successes are made through thousands of courageous actions that go unnoticed. Early mornings, late nights, hard conversations, rethinking when things fail, persisting regardless of not having any results show up yet. Those are all instances which set apart the audience from the contenders, and the difference gets bigger with time. While regular people are looking out for motivation, relentless people are creating momentum. One of the strongest forces in human accomplishment is momentum. As soon as it starts off, it becomes harder to stop oneself than to keep on going. Each success creates more confidence. Each move builds more evidence. Each advance diminishes the power of fear. But the thing about momentum is that it can only be gained through actions, not by waiting, not by hoping, not by any imagination. The saddest thing is that most people have all it takes to make it big. They have brains, they have talent, they have opportunities, but they cannot make progress because they lack one key ingredient: relentlessness. They give up too early. They surrender too quickly. They let little setbacks dictate their conclusions. One negative response stops them. One failure tells them they cannot make it. One obstacle stops them from believing there was even an attempt. The relentless person looks at obstacles differently. Rejection tells him something. Failure gives him lessons. Obstacles show him that he is doing something worth doing. Each time he falls, he gathers strength. Each problem is preparation for greater things ahead. Each setback becomes more fuel. He knows one thing, and the thing has made most men successful in the past. The world will not reward anyone who tried only once. The world will reward people who kept trying when everyone else gave up. Those who refuse to give up on controlling their own destinies get rewarded. And finally, after all of their efforts and perseverance, something starts happening. People who used to doubt them start taking note of them. Opportunities that were out of reach before came knocking. Influence which they used to admire in others starts manifesting itself in them. None of these because they were more lucky or talented than anyone else, because they kept moving while everyone else was just standing around. Convert suffering to energy, Hugh narrator. People generally spend most of their lives attempting to escape pain. They avoid rejection, they avoid failure, they avoid being criticized, they avoid disappointments. But all of those things mean that they are avoiding one of the most powerful elements at their disposal without even realizing it. That's because pain, properly defined, is not an evil thing. Pain is knowledge. Pain is education. Pain is transformation. Machiavelli knew that only through adversity do we learn truths that comfort cannot teach. Comfort conceals our weakness. Pain reveals it. Comfort allows for illusions to persist. Pain breaks them down. Comfort leads to self-satisfaction. Pain demands change. This is why some come out stronger after experiencing difficult times, whereas others come out broken. The experience in itself isn't what matters. It's the way you look at it. Two people could have the exact same experience in life. One would be overcome by bitterness and hatred. The other will come out enlightened. Two people can fail. One will let their failure take control of their life. The other will use failure to become better. Two people can face the same humiliation. One takes years to heal from their wounds. The other finds inspiration from his wounds. Because pain is a part of life, and people see it as proof that life itself is against them. Pain is preparation for the mighty. All adversity is an experience. All loss comes with an insight. All difficulties contain lessons on how to grow stronger. But very few have the guts to learn from their pain. They find diversions instead. Entertainment, comfort, excuses, anything to help them avoid facing the truth. However, the truth always waits patiently. That which is ignored in one season will present itself in the next. Weakness that is dodged this year will make itself known the next, and fear that has been evaded once will reappear somewhere else. For growth cannot be circumvented. It can only be postponed, the price tag attached to it. According to Machiavelli, hardship creates great men, not because of any inherent nobility of suffering, but because suffering teaches one to adapt. When things get tough, illusions become costly, excuses become worthless, as do wishes. What really counts is effectiveness. What really counts is resilience. What really counts is action. Remember the turning points in your life. Were those easy times? Were things always going right? Or were they hard times? Times when you were stretched beyond your limits? The answer never changes. Growth comes out of struggle. Strength comes out of struggle. Character comes out of struggle. That's why suffering holds such enormous power. It can be a cage, or it can be a sword. People choose suffering. They replay their mistakes again and again. They revisit their broken hearts again and again. They re-experience their disappointment again and again. But not to heal from them, to relive them. Each time making the scars deeper, trapped in the past, unable to let go. Powerful individuals do not see the world like everyone else. They ask themselves completely different questions. Instead of questioning, why am I being punished like this? They question, what do I learn from this? Instead of asking, why have I been treated unjustly? They ask, how do I grow out of this? Instead of asking, how do I protect myself from pain? They ask, how can I make use of it? These kinds of questions lead to an entirely different perspective, because pain harbors great power. Pain of being underestimated harbors power. Pain of being betrayed harbors power. Pain of failing harbors power. Pain of missed chances harbors power. Most people dissipate their power by complaining, while powerful individuals harness the same pain and channel it towards action. Each criticism turns into motivation. Each refusal turns into determination. Each setback turns into a driving force. That is why there are people who are almost impossible to stop, because they know how to convert their pain into power. Life hits them. They keep moving forward. Life does not fulfill them. They keep moving forward. Life confronts them. They keep moving forward. Not because they relish pain, but because they do not let pain dictate the direction of their lives. This is an aspect of power that Machiavelli will know well. Power to be effective amid emotional distress. For most individuals, their emotions dictate their behavior. In times of discouragement, they cease. In moments of rejection, they pull back. In situations of defeat, they give up. But those who are strong experience similar emotions, yet they keep going. And that keeps making them different. And the advantage grows even greater. Compare the one who makes every failure an excuse to give up. Compare him with the one who sees every failure as a reason to grow. In 1 year's time, the contrast will be obvious. In 5 years' time, it will be stark. In 10 years' time, they will seem to live on different planets altogether. One person made himself weak from his suffering. The other one used his suffering to make himself strong. One person let his pain devour him. The other turned his pain into a tool. That is the secret advantage that lies in all forms of adversity. Adversity offers a decision point. Let the experience strip away your self-respect and drive down your dreams. Or take the lessons, hone your skills, fortify yourself, and become dangerous. Because every scar holds a story, and every failure teaches you something important. And it is when you ask, not how can I get out of this, but how can I use this, that you will find your suffering incapable of breaking you, and in fact contributing to the power and tenacity that sets you apart from others in your ability to triumph over your situation. And finally, you get the idea of something that many people waste their whole lives trying to escape from. Nobody is coming. No secret advisor is preparing your future for you.